wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the worst you could do?
I could do worse, probably, but,
I'm Jana.
I'm Bal. I'm the one who makes terrible jokes. One day I'm gonna make y'all laugh, but, not with these kinds of materials, no.
You have made me laugh in this before.
Yeah.
This one was just... I prepared for the worst, but... This is fairly mid as far as your bad jokes
It's
go.
very mid. I had, another one cooking, but, I just couldn't connect the dots.
I'll try that again for the opinion at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are here to talk all about Critical Role episodes, and we have reached episode 23, the rematch.
Yeah, we're getting so close to the Briarwoods campaign, it's delicious.
They mentioned this episode. We're like, and the next episode has a different colored thumbnail. We're almost there. We're so close. We're so close.
Yeah,
we can start the new year with that.
Yeah, I can't believe how much that happens in this episode. This episode's pretty packed.
They're basically just checking items off their list.
Yeah, they're basically just doing foreshadowing too.
Oh, so much.
But yeah, this episode's pretty groundstanding, I think. But before we get into that, groundbreaking. Has anything happened in the Critical Role sphere since last time we recorded?
Nothing that has gone public yet, I suppose. There've been mutterings, but I don't know how to feel about those, so we just...
What are the mutterings? I haven't heard any mutterings.
Yeah, that shows that it's not really been a thing yet. I'll tell you after.
Okay. They've announced some of the cast for Legend of Vox Machina season 2, not campaign 2. I'm gonna start calling every season a campaign now,
Yeah, for a spring campaign.
Yeah, for a spring campaign. Anyway.
Yeah, they're apparently going to retcon Zara and Cash into existence.
Yeah, I hope they just kind of wander in and announce they're like, what's up? Here we are.
I mean, the appeal of them lies in the thing they have already skipped.
That's true.
They've literally already shown us how the Rakshasa was killed, so...
But I am inevitably, despite this, kind of happy, because... Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
Mary Elizabeth gets to be in there.
Yeah, I love Mary Elizabeth so much. So, yeah. I'm just excited regardless, just that she gets to participate. It's also been so long since Mary Elizabeth McGlynn or Wilfred Dahl have been on a Critical Role property of any sort.
That is true.
Sure, makes me sad.
I mean, they have had, there's been a not suspicious, but notable absence of guest stars in the current campaign in general.
Yeah, I was expecting them to, kind of always have a guest, but, that's fine.
I mean, the two guests they had were there for several days and were very noticeable and are dearly, dearly missed.
Yeah.
But these 1 or 2 episode popping guests that kind of defined campaign 1 and 2 are not there anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a quarantine thing, but that really doesn't explain it because they had guests during quarantine.
I mean, Robbie and Erica, but other than that.
That's true. But yeah, I think that I'm hoping that they get a guest soon because I like the new guests.
I hope Erica returns.
I hope Robbie returns. I really enjoyed him.
I enjoyed Robbie too, but with him I'm kind of afraid of what Liam is going to make of it.
Liam's a coward.
He is, but... if Robbie returns, I kind of want Abria to DM for a few sessions just so Derrix can also be there.
Yeah, I want Derrix.
Just so Matt can have a break a little bit.
Just a little fun time. Just a little fun time for Matt. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But I also really want Erica to return because I want to Vegeta the shit out of that character.
Yeah, I don't want them to have a growth arc. I don't want them to develop as a human being. Not a human being. I don't want them to develop as a Fae. I want them to just become a friend for reasons, and then to just be like, hey, are you good now? It's like, no.
That is honestly a very good summation of Vegeta as a character, yes. Mm-hmm. I think he's sort of good by now. The wife and family.
Vegeta's domesticated, okay?
Yeah, Yeah, that is the best descriptor, really.
Like, is he good? Is he bad? No, he's just home. He's just homebroke. He's housebroken, is what he is.
Anyways, I don't think we have any much more to say here, right?
No, there haven't been any huge developments as far as I can tell.
Yep. I mean, things are quieting down.
We're probably gonna reach the end of the year sort of breaks they usually take.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does, kind of.
Yeah.
We are going to do that, too.
Yeah, we are.
Like, it's futile to announce it here because it's going to be published after the end of the year break. This is recorded on December 10th, 2022. Mm-hmm. The episode we're going to be talking about is from September 10th, 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And this, because of the way holidays fall, this might be the last time we can record this year.
That makes sense. I feel like it's fine to take a holiday break. And also, we've been pretty good about recording and publishing regularly, so yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we can return some time in January with you actually having like some backup build.
Shush.
You have more than a month.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to get into the content and spoiler warnings?
Yeah, that's what I was winding up to do here.
Ooh, okay. Wind away. Hello there. Welcome to the content and spoiler warnings for this episode 23 of Campaign 1 of Critical Role. Starting with the content warnings, it's the Grog versus Kern rematch, so, gore, brutality, testicle damage, the works. Additionally, we have people being kind of weird / slut shaming about Vex's tits. We have some day drinking. Violence against not quite children, but definitely young people. And mention of rape. As for spoiler warnings, I don't think we spoil anything major, but we definitely talk about the rest of the campaign as usual, so that's something to look out for. And we only have Ryan Akaba for 4 more episodes, so pretty soon, guys. Alright, I'll let you get back to the rest of the episode. Bye!
So, they picked back up after a little break because Madame Musha went to the desert where they were accosted by a fritter.
A fritter?
Critter, not fritter.
I thought you said fritter, sorry. I was thinking, is it a critter that's been fried by the sun?
I mean, it's Burning Man, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. But it sounds like they had a nice time. This is before I think critters were, so big and creepy, so it was just, a person being like, hey, I like Critical Role. I was like, thanks. And I imagine that person had, some genital out.
I mean, so did they, probably.
Yeah, so it's fine.
It's just what you do at Burning Man, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's if anything, it's strange that we haven't really seen Marisha's boobs yet.
Yeah, after she specifically warned people not to take pictures of her with her boobs out. Maybe we as a fan base are actually okay.
Maybe. Very strangely that way. Maybe at least the part of our fan base that goes to Burning Man is.
Yeah, so those are apparently decent people. Very much like the person who does the critical closet posts and was like, yeah, so it was really awkward when I figured out that Laura was wearing maternity clothes months before the announcement, so but just sat on that for a while.
They shut their whole mouth.
They shut their whole mouth. And we are so, and that was a 10 out of 10 behavior.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Ancient Twitch, is it Thursday yet t-shirt?
Yeah, that I've never seen before or since.
Yeah, very ancient stuff. Also ancient Twitch. Ancient Twitch overlay.
Oh, God, yes. Also, Matt doesn't even say is it Thursday yet after episodes yet.
Yeah, it's not even his thing yet.
Is it Thursday yet?
It's kind of weirdly a Bernstein Bears effect, where it's Like, it's like, oh, Matt never actually said, is it Thursday? It's like, no, he did. He was just, like, brainstormed. He was kind of, like, brainwashed by the Twitch t-shirt to say it.
He's also doesn't have the line about nerdy-ass voice actors sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons down yet. That's not a thing yet.
Yeah, but that one's him. He did not get, like,
he came up with that one on his own.
Yeah.
He just hasn't finalized it yet. And, like, the elements are there. Just not in its final form yet.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We are getting there.
Speaking of getting there.
Yeah?
Sam has it, and neither has Liam.
That is right. Sam and Liam are both very late today. Well, Sam not very late, but Liam very, very late.
Very, very, very late.
With no explanation.
Matt judges a t-shirt contest.
Yeah. Matt is a judge for t-shirt contest.
Yes.
Someone sent them custom-made glasses and alcohol, which they admit to drinking on stream.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit more sheepish about it, but, like, it's still very
Only
much
after the break. In the announcement at the beginning, Matt makes it very explicit that he is drinking this fancy alcohol now.
Yeah.
And
guidelines.
Is this the rum and coke incident that Matt still gets shit over to this day?
Maybe, but, like,
it
leave
might
him
be
alone.
right.
Leave him alone. It's still fancy rum and just because, like, you mix the fancy rum with Coke doesn't mean it's not fancy rum anymore.
And if the only way you like rum is with Coke, this is the best way for you to enjoy it.
It's fine. It's just a fancy rum and Coke. It's fine.
Spoken by two people who don't really enjoy alcohol.
We enjoy alcohol. You drink beer.
I don't. You make it sound like I do this regularly. I do not regularly drink beer.
No, but I don't drink beer at all. So, like, compared to me...
The beer that I drink has
so
fruit
cool.
juice in it.
Yeah, but compared to me, it's very much just like, wow, Yana's so cool. She drinks beer.
I've been culturally
grapefruit beer
into drinking exactly one kind of beer. Oh, yeah, one kind of beer. Fruit juice varies.
I drink cider.
I drink grapefruit beer.
I might actually have a cider
I drink
today.
Lemon beer. I drink cherry beer or raspberry beer.
Cherry beer actually does taste good
because it tastes like cherry.
Yeah, there's like a type of like cherry seltzery thing called Castile, which is really nice. It's like the closest thing to a beer that I would drink.
If I were a Christmas market kind of gal, which I have never really been, and I'm really, really, really not now, because fucking crowds of drunk people consuming stuff with their mouth holes out in the open. If I were a Christmas market kind of gal, I would be drinking hot cocoa with amaretto in it.
Ooh, nice. That sounds nice. You mean you're not an Oktoberfest kind of person?
Oh, fuck all the way off.
I know. That one is
explosive.
That one was a macroaggression.
No kidding.
Also, Trinket is an armor blueprints.
Yeah, he's wearing, like, white panels that have numbers on them that will be painted metal colors soon.
Yeah, he's getting dressed. He's being measured and tailored.
Yes.
Apparently someone vomited in a Mad Max game. I don't understand.
Kind of all of them, especially Marisha.
I don't really understand what's going on, but, like, sure.
No, they're just like, okay, so Travis is the villain in a Mad Max game, Orion plays a gajillion characters, others play other characters, and there's apparently a lot of vomiting happening in this game that was voiced by several members of the cast.
Yeah, they also talk about a theoretical game in which they all, like, what if we all just played various games in which we're in, and just have, like, a little masturbation session? Which, sure, guys.
I mean, they shut that down themselves.
Yeah, they've acknowledged this is, wow, that would be so egotistical. But also, I could see them doing that for a four-sided dive, and it could be fun.
I mean, they could just play Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's all
honestly
of them.
Kind of crazy that they haven't played Deadfire when it came out on stream in some capacity, because they're all in this, most of them several times.
All in there.
All of them. Just all of them.
As their characters.
As their characters and as their other characters, though for some of them the parallels are
present.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, they sure do be present.
Yeah, they sure do be present. There's also that one albino elf character who just looks like Elf Percy.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that character was voiced by Ashley, right?
I think it was voiced by Ashley, yeah.
Yeah, because Percy just voices God, which, I mean, is still appropriate. I'm still...
Weirdly, his God sounds more like his Percy than his Percy.
You're not wrong. And I'm still upset that I didn't know that the characters voiced by Marisha and Laura, who... I mean, one of them is like a cleric for kind of crazy God.
One of them is a
and the
pirate.
other one is like an officer. No, not real. I don't... Was she kind of... I mean... Also colonialist, whatever. But
yeah.
They literally have the Bo and Jester voices and they hook up if you let them.
Yep.
I didn't let them because I got together with a Marisha character because I tried to get with a Travis character, but his evil sea god mommy told me no.
Yeah.
So,
can't do that anymore.
Fun stuff
over at Deadfire.
Yeah.
Recently released game, Deadfire.
Yeah, as recently as, 2017? 2018?
Travis insists on being the jock rep by saying that he, for the first time, is repping the Dallas Cowboys.
He's wearing a hat and he's wearing like a hoodie and he takes off both.
Yes. I think that Nat and Marisha say the exact same thing that I say whenever people talk about sports. It's just like, I'm not really into sports. That rugby's pretty cool, right? I always say this. Rugby is pretty cool if you're not into sports.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, you don't have to know what's going on to enjoy, like, well, those people just made a human pyramid. I didn't know that was a thing you could do in sports.
Okay, yeah, the only sport I'm into is gymnastics.
Yeah. Other thing, just like, you don't have to be super aware of what's going on to just be like, wow, that was impressive.
She just flipped and twisted all over the place. Yeah, that was cool.
I don't need to know how the point system works to be like, holy shit, that was a cool turn.
No one knows how the point system works.
Anyway,
by design.
This episode was originally aired on September 10th, 2015, as we already said. And Sam proceeds to switch tables.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny thing they do this episode. Like, Sam tries to scoot in at the bottom table where there would have been 4 people with 2 people on the top table, and then is like, nah, this is stupid, and then sits down next to Laura, where they just immediately start bickering like school children the entire time.
Yeah, this is why seating them next to each other in the next campaign was a bad idea. Or is it campaign 3 that they sit next to each other?
No, campaign 2.
Campaign 2. Terrible idea. They're school children. But yeah, Sam shows up really towards the end of the intro.
Maybe? Let me...
Oh. We're doing fact-checking. Hang on. I actually did some fact-checking for terms in the wrestling thing that I didn't understand. Not many,
really?
But a little bit, not a ton.
Cool. We'll get to that. Where's Laura? Who's Laura sitting next to? Isn't she sitting between Taliesin and Liam?
Oh, you're in the Mind Palace. I thought you were researching.
That is my way of researching.
Go into your Mind Palace.
Sorry.
Shh. No, it's okay. I don't want to distract you from the Mind Palace. I like the Mind Palace. It's nice.
I'm pretty sure the bottom table goes like... Okay, I don't know when...
The problem is that you don't know the campaign 2 as much because like campaign 2 is so uncompelling.
No, I know campaign 2. I know in campaign 2 the bottom table was sometimes Ashley, Sam, Laura, and Taliesin. And the top table was just Travis, Marisha, Liam. That's easy.
Yeah. They put the ships next to each other. But only... They put the ships next to each other, but the ships from last campaign.
Yeah, they didn't do this here. I know that. I'm pretty sure it goes Taliesin, Laura, Liam, Ashley, Corner, Sam, Marisha, Travis.
Yeah.
So no, Sam and Laura are not currently sitting next to each other. Don't fact check me on this. My mind palace has improved since the last time we did this bit, apparently.
Okay. Nice. So
why is anyways, in this episode, Sam sits next to Laura up until Liam arrives, and he first tries to be a good boy and sit next to Taliesin on the bottom table, but then he just sits between Sam and Laura at the top table.
Inserts himself, yes.
Yes. Yes. And he's way more into cuddling with Sam than he was into cuddling with Taliesin.
Which is,
but we'll get there.
That's just how it goes.
We'll get there.
Like,
it is. I think it's time to just start with the episode, huh? Where are we at, sweetheart?
After successfully joining one cult and appeasing what may very well be another, Vox Machina, mostly together but short one gnome, have now worked their way through the Vassal. Damn it! Have now worked their way through Vasselheim in a weak list.
Have now worked their way through the Vasselheim in a week list, like you would do Europe in a week or something.
Okay. Have now worked
That's
their
the
way...
joke here, sorry.
Hang on. I'm just gonna do... I'm gonna do it over, sorry. After successfully joining one cult and appeasing what may very well be another one, Vox Machina, mostly together but short one gnome, have now worked their way through the Vasselheim in a week list and are almost ready to go home.
You did that so well, dear.
Thank you. It only took me 4 or 5 tries.
One take. Single take.
One take.
Technically, they're short 2 gnomes, but that's on me.
They get their other gnome quickly.
Yeah, because he's not actually gone.
Thank you.
Anyway, they go over what happened last time and give golf claps to Keyleth for appeasing the tribal elders who may also just be a cult. I'm pretty sure they are just a cult.
Yeah, but they're a nicer cult.
Yes, they are.
And Grog does a beard check. Unfortunately, another 100.
Yeah. Like, he's just insanely lucky / unlucky with those D100 rolls.
Yeah, he is. Which means that he just like squeezes out one hair and it pops off immediately. Poor guy.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for him. But he also burps garlic clouds at Sam and Laura, so hey.
Yeah. And finally, Scanlan joins them.
Yeah.
Having sort of been, but also not been last episode in a weird way, he now says that he has been on a brothel binge. But actually, no.
Matt says that. Scanlan or Sam then retcons that and insists on having been at a slumber party with Zara and all her tiefling friends.
For 3 days.
It's a long slumber party.
All those tiefling friends that Zara has. Who are those again?
She has a cousin.
Is her cousin in town?
Maybe.
I do like this. I wish that it was not so easy to poke holes in, because I do hope that this is truly what Scanlan did.
I do love the face that Travis pulls when after inside checking.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more. Yeah. So Orion starts off by trying to insist that he kept something from the, by now I think 3-day-old Heroes Feast, which is not how Heroes Feast works, because he wanted to feed a little morsel of food to a sickly little dragon creature.
Which apparently I would say that the Twitch chat and or the Twitter has reminded him of, because it did not occur to Orion in the moment to feed his new pet.
Nope.
He's not even sure whether the pet was with him at the time, because that's how that works.
And truly, Laura Bailey would never.
Laura Bailey is offended.
Yes. Even though, her poor little weasel from Campaign 2. But, at least
that was with her the entire time.
Yep.
There was never any question of where that weasel was.
Yeah,
the answer is right here, in danger. Miraculously not dead.
Somehow not dead, despite all odds.
I mean, we know how.
Thanks are taken.
Okay, and there is Scanlan asks them about the carpet, so they bring this story up again, and then Vex goes on a little bit of a tirade about how they lost the carpet and a lot of money, but it's all fine, because they're still alive, and that's more important.
Yeah, I was hoping that you'd mention this.
Of course, because I have to go into a spiel about this. Because this is an exchange, this is, by the way, I think this is where it starts, where just, Vex and Percy just start having, the little side conversations.
Yeah.
Completely apart from everyone else.
Mm-hmm. They're just in their own little world.
Yeah, they start doing this here. And this is, because this exchange has inspired me for a fanfiction that I will not write.
No.
But could have written. Because then Percy says, "It seems that an enormous amount of alcohol has given you some perspective. I'm very proud of you. Well done."
To which Vex replies,
"Thank you. Really, one night is all it takes from me." To which Percy replies, "One night is all it should take." And like, hey guys.
Other people are here.
That too. But also, if you use this as a setup for a weird they have been fucking all along AU, which they haven't been, but this would be where I would start it. And also just doing this directly after a dragon and seeing his butt. It makes sense. You can make it make sense.
You can definitely make it make sense.
I didn't write that fanfiction, but it is still living rent-free in my head. And
it definitely counts as Persalia puppets.
It does. It does.
Sure it does. What follows next is also Persalia mode to me, which is Percy and Rex playing parents and coordinating the plans to go home.
Which might be where this entire thing actually starts, of them just acting like the group parents.
Yeah, they do, and they do this a couple times this episode, and they did it a couple times last episode. It's very nice.
Yeah. However, before they can wrap things up and leave Vasselheim, someone has a score to settle.
A big score. A big meaty score. Grog wants a rematch. Episode title drop.
A big, meaty, homoerotic score.
Marisha gets the most excited about this. Everyone's like, rematch. Yeah, rematch, sure. Whee! She is ready. She's here for this. She wants a rematch right now.
We also figure out that Lockheed actually has food poisoning, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And just, there's no magic to this. Just gotta keep feeding him.
Keep feeding him not bad meat.
Which is frankly what I remember our family doctor saying about most of the diseases when we were kids.
Keep feeding it. It'll pass.
Yep. It'll pass or it won't. Keep feeding it. We had a very mercenary style family doctor. Just like, soup. Soup, it'll pass or it won't.
Which, I mean, yeah.
Yep, that sure is. Yeah. That's the two options that there are. Especially with kids.
Yeah. I will now say something sort of in defense of Orion.
Sure.
For this episode, because this episode has many times when he just seems confused as to where they are and what is going on, and with this, it doesn't seem like he's not paying attention the way he usually does. It just seems like he is he's having a bit of a chemo brain episode.
Yeah, I think that this kind of confusion does make sense to me. It's just like he calls Taliesin. Percy's like, "Oh, you just NPC'd me." Everyone rolls with it kind of funnily. So it's like,
there's this delicious exchange where Percy is like, "Oh, Taliesin, that was my mother's name." Not really. She wasn't well. Which hello there.
I think he says she wasn't Welsh.
Really?
I think that's what I thought, because Taliesin's a Welsh name.
I mean, maybe, but
it sure is. What is your mother's name, huh?
Vex asks that, because she's paying attention to Percy. But the question goes unanswered for this episode.
Yep.
Or, well, we're going to get the answer in 2 episodes, really.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out which one of the names is the mother, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, Tiberius then hugs Percy, and Percy's not happy, but he accepts it because they didn't touch in his family.
They didn't touch, and they didn't teach him how to groom himself.
Yes, they were rich.
That too.
Tiberius then encourages violence, which incites Grog to
run off, just
make a Looney Tunes style hole in the wall.
He would have, but he didn't. He would have done this with a window, but there was no window available, so he just runs and leaves a trail of distressed people behind.
Yeah, he's just knocking people over, running through the streets, and inciting many people to just follow them.
Which they do, which is like, is this West Side Story?
It kind of is.
No, not really, is it?
Yeah, this is not helped by a Tiberius casting fly and then flying while holding a dragon, which is...
Yeah.
Wow, that is a dragon on dragon action.
Yeah, because his pseudo-dragon is on him. But, like, he forgets the whole no arcane magic in Vasselheim bit a lot this episode.
Yeah, which to his credit, he remembers quickly and then stops flying, but he's already being followed by a big amount of guards.
Yeah.
Who do they
I realize what I'm doing and I stop, to which Talos replies, "That's going on your tombstone." If only.
Yeah, if only.
If only he realized what he was doing and stopped, not if only he already had a tombstone, just pointing that out.
No, but I do think that his statue should have had I realized what I'm doing and I stopped.
It would be a little bit cruel in universe, but like, okay.
More less disingenuous than I encourage peace.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We have so much time until we have to deal with that.
Yeah, to the guards' credit, they don't stop. They don't arrest him yet. They just kind of follow along. They disperse, and Percy then immediately asks Vex to cast Hunter's Mark on one of them, which he does. He rolls a natural 20.
On the sleight of hand for that, yes.
Yeah.
So technically that would be divine magic, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's nature-y. Like, nature-y falls under divine for some reason.
It's not the kind of thing you would learn in, like, a magic school.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's magic in the way Keyleth is magic.
Yeah.
Which will come out later. So, Grog runs into the bar place, which they have the fighting pit, and he calls out Kern's name in a very Star Trek fashion.
Kern!
Kern!
Have you actually seen the Star Trek movies?
No.
Me neither.
Yay! We're both uninformed.
Whoa!
But as soon as people pick up on what's going on, it is down. It is going down quickly.
Yeah, it's just this is like, you could do this. I can see this. This is why I say this is very West Side Story. I don't think a scene like this happens in West Side Story. But like just the dancing and singing down the street to hype up for a fight. Maybe this is like one of those Step Up movies or something. This is very much that. Or is this there's so much pop culture I only know vaguely second to third hand.
It reminds me a bit of like
so much
kind of like a Grease or like a the Lost Boys. Not the Lost Boys. What is it called? I don't remember. Maybe it's the Lost Boys. It's not the Lost Boys.
Can you describe it?
With the kids who are like, stay golden, pony boy.
Never heard of it.
It's about greasers.
Is Rufio in it?
No.
Okay.
Stay
okay.
golden.
This reminds us of pop culture that we can't name.
It's The Outsiders.
Okay.
But it's the same kind of thing of just like, there's a fight going on. We're gonna do it for Johnny. And then, everybody sort of miraculously ends up in the same street. Fight, and they rumble.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, they go into the fighting pit to rumble, but everyone is just, there's just lots of excitement, and the betting starts immediately, and the entire party bets on Grog, except for Scanlan, who bets 100 gold against. And, okay, and then they kind of get Kern on the scene, because there's money to be made and entertainment to be had. Kern
is created whole cloth, just like, hello, I've materialized.
They actually wait a bit in which Grog just paces in the fighting pit, and then he just shows up, and they actually just get him. There's like, the logistics are okay. But speaking of logistics, this is okay. This is a really good moment for Travis in general, because he planned for this. He can tell he planned for this. He is prepared. Like, before this, he asked for a wineskin just to set up something.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also tell that he read the player's handbook about all the other fun things you can do in a fight.
Yes, he did.
There's so much grappling in this. It's amazing.
So much grappling. This is like a professional. The last one was just two men beating each other up. Good beating each other up. Like, a lot of stage fighting, but like not stage fighting. A lot of like stage setting. I'm just like, I put him here and I do this and I do that. But like, this one is just like moves. They name wrestling things.
Yeah, and there's this opening bit where Grog is like, will you share a drink with me? And then Corin does share a drink with him, but Grog turns him down allegedly because it's wine and he doesn't drink piss water like that. And then he drinks his own stuff out of a wineskin, and it's a potion of stone giant strength.
Cheating!
This is doping, essentially. Like,
and he sailors, like he's juicing.
He doesn't even have to... Did he have to roll anything for this?
No, I don't think so.
No, because this is just so well set up. He's not even really... He's kind of deceiving, but not really. And he also just already had the strength modifier changed on his character sheet. Before this even happened, he's prepared. He's
juicing. It's like how Jester didn't have to roll for deception to put the cupcake.
Yeah, she had to roll for persuasion to get the hag to eat the cupcake with her in the first place, but not for deception for the dust of deliciousness, because Matt failed his insight check so hard in that scene.
Yeah, if you've already tricked your DM, you don't have to roll for it. That's a rule that's not in the rule book, but it might as well be.
Yeah, that was very fair of him, and also probably the best moment of campaign 2.
Yep, the best moment of cheating, at the very least, because that is such cheating.
Look, if your DM wants to force you into misery and you have a reasonable way of saying fuck that.
Oh no, that's fine. That wasn't cheating. The cupcake was not cheating. That's not an organized fight. It is a deal with the devil, and if you can trick the devil, that's fine.
That is fair game. Honestly, if the hag came too, she would probably just be like game recognizing game about this.
Yeah, which is why you're thinking that when the hag realized that like this happened, she would not then hate Jester. She'd be like, you know what? It's a pretty good friend to have. Someone who can think of that. That's someone you want on your side, don't you?
Yeah, and she keeps getting cupcakes out of the deal, so that's nice.
That's nice.
That's nice. Did she come up in the Mighty Nine re-meeting thing at all?
No, I don't think so.
Of course not. Anyways, this is not what this is about. This is about Vox Machina never even thinking about entering a fight honorably and honestly.
Never ever. This happens twice in this episode.
This episode is just like he gets inspiration from Scanlan twice.
And then Vex clobbers a kid in the back of the head while he's in conversation.
This is something different that we get to later, but professional wrestling cheating. Cheating. Boo this man.
Boo this man. But they announced the fight. Philip is here with his tail between his legs.
Which, how? He actually ran their tail all the way out, being like, fight me!
Maybe they mean...
This is the opposite.
Maybe they mean tail between his legs and he has an erection.
Dick out?
Yeah,
no.
Dick out. We were both talking about the same thing.
Maybe.
Both.
Maybe,
Dick
actually.
Out. Possibly
Hard to say.
A little bit interested. Is that a tail between your legs, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah, and he is now no longer Philip. He is now Grog the Vengeful. Everyone's like, yay! As if we had a character arc about this. People try very hard not to dead name him.
They try very hard. They're very good about it. Vasselheim respects it.
Yeah.
The only thing it needs is just like somebody be like, oh, Grog the Vengeful, what's your pronouns? They, he? You seem like a they, he kind of guy. And then the fight kind of starts.
First of all, Kern says that he's going to take Grog's lip now, so there will be another makeout session.
Yeah, there will. Which is, again, homoerotic in a way. What's also homoerotic in a weird way, is like Grog sniffing his lip that he took and being like, I like this. I'm here for the rest. Which is like,
wow.
I don't know how to, okay? Is this homoerotic? I don't know.
This is something, alright. It is something.
Sure, let's not dwell on this.
Yeah. So they start fighting, and, okay, you wanted to talk about wrestling terms, because the first thing they do is like a DDT.
Yes, I looked up what a DDT is.
How professional of you. What is a DDT?
A DDT is any move in which the wrestler... I'm quoting directly from Wikipedia, by the way. It's any move in which a wrestler has the opponent in a front face lock / inverted headlock and falls down or backwards to drive the opponent's head into the mat. So if you can imagine, you're like wrapping your hands kind of around their neck or shoulders and then falling down backwards to smash their face into the ground. It's kind of like if you were doing like a suplex, but instead of doing over the shoulder and then dropping, you're just doing it forward using your own body weight. Or backwards.
I'm just dropping on them and their face hits the ground.
Yes, and I've also learned what DDT stands for.
Yes?
This is highly debated. Damien's Death Trap, Damien's Death Touch, Damien's Dinner Time, all named after Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake is the one who, coined this, Jake Roberts. All named after Jake's pet python, Damien. Double Diarrhea Tightrope, Drape Drop Takedown, Drop Down Down, Drop Down Down, Downward Dome Thrust, and Death Drop Technique. When asked what DDT meant, Jake once famously replied, "The end." But more likely, it came from the notorious pesticide, DDT. Which is less fun.
Way less fun. Every other thing, wonderful. That, no.
But yeah, in case you were wondering what DDT meant, that's what it means. The end.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Cool. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the fight.
Is. So the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
That kind of began last time. This takes up like an hour.
Yeah.
They get popcorn for it. I think we can just kind of go over it.
Yeah, just do highlights, I guess.
I mean, I don't really have a fight highlight here. It's just it's just a slobber knocker.
They just beat the shit out of each other.
They sure do. And it starts out a little more sophisticated, a little more honorable. Like, Grog even asks Kroner if he picked up ballet because he now has stances and is like kung fu fighting and does fancy kicks and spins and stuff.
Yeah, as Tiberius says, which I hate to quote him, but he monked up. He very clearly took a level of monk.
He did. And it's going to go on to be very inspiring to several people at this table. Anyways,
sure
this lasts a bit, and then we just go straight for the balls again.
Yeah, we go straight to just destroying each other. For a while, it's very honorable. So very elegant almost. They do.
If you ignore that Grog is juiced up the entire time.
Yeah, and then you can tell another thing that I looked up. So at some point, Kern kicks Grog, but does not land, and Grog catches his foot, and he basically says, "Respect," and or something along those lines. I don't quite remember the exact quote, but some quote to be like, "Cool, good job." And then he tries to hyperextend his leg, which is ow, and tries to tear his ACL or MCL, which is another thing that I looked up.
That's just like a muscle thing in the leg, right?
An ACL is an anterior anterior cruciate ligament, one of the key ligaments that help stabilize the knee joint. The ACL connects the thigh bone, femur, to the shin bone, tibia. The MCL is the medial collateral ligament, which runs from the inside surface of the upper shin bone to the inner surface of the bottom shin bone. So you can think about it as the ACL is sort of the muscle on your knee, or one of the key muscles in your knee, and the MCL is in your shin bone.
We're learning anatomy today, folks.
And these are the two things that I looked up, so don't ask me about anything else. But after failing to hyperextend his leg or tear his ACL and MCL, Grog immediately finishes playing clean and takes his last round just using that splayed knee position to
punch him in the balls.
Punch him so hard in the balls.
Punching and kicking in the balls. At some point, he draws blood in the crotch area specifically. He also goes for eyes and ears during this fight.
Yeah, he tries to pull his ears off.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's
most of these things don't really succeed, but it's fucking nasty.
Yeah, there's blood from the eye at some point.
Yeah, he blinds him for a round, and he stuns him for a round too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. At some point, Grog again, more filthy things. Grog bites him.
Right, he bites him in the neck to draw blood and do shit there. He just goes full vampire.
Yeah, so Grog is just filthy. From that point on, it's just filthy blows. Which, you know what, Kern gives as good as he gets because he then proceeds to make out with Grog.
Yeah, he then tears off Grog's lip and spits it at him and then catches it and keeps it in his hands.
Yeah, which is impressive. Bottom table is just enthralled, but also disgusted. Marisha more enthralled so than Taliesin, who is cringing as though, like, he's the person being beaten up.
The entire table is just into this the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
They get popcorn promptly from the staff.
They get arrested.
This... Yeah, Keyleth tries to... Okay. I will argue that this is Matthew Mercer being mean to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because previously we've had seen like them starting up chants and stuff that Scanlan then used to cast inspiration.
Yes, which is clever.
This is what a bard does. But when Keyleth starts up a chant and then tries to hide a healing word in the chant, she has to roll for it and doesn't even get advantage. I would have given her advantage for this.
Yeah.
Because this is the way to, like, you could totally hide it this way, but
yeah.
Matt doesn't let her. Matt lets her fail. He does this a notable amount of times.
I'm glad that he doesn't let her do this because it leads to a more interesting thing. But it is mean. It's mean.
It would, yeah, it is mean. And then they just talk themselves into, like, Orion tries to help her as Tiberius with his cheating persuasive skills, but also fails.
Good. Tiberius's high charisma is my least favorite thing. Not my least favorite thing, but I hate it because it's just like the most player not attempting to do anything with it. Because like I don't know, I play a bard, and I think like the thing that I try my best to do is like, you know, I have a high charisma, which means I have to try to be charismatic. Like it's not like a get out of jail free card. Like if you're not even trying to be charismatic, it doesn't matter how high your charisma is. You're not going to succeed.
Yeah, and he gets to succeed an unfair amount of times on that.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he brings up the Thunderbrand specifically in this episode a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he attacked their house and could just yell at guards to leave him alone? Like, no.
It's not very charismatic behavior, now is it?
Nope. Oh, I have to correct myself. I just looked it up. Travis actually didn't adjust his strength modifier. Or his attack No, he didn't... Okay, no. What he forgot to do was increase his attack modifier to rage.
Oh,
which is,
okay.
Like, because as gnarly as this fight is, it is notable that Grog doesn't hit a whole lot.
He does not, no.
Like, he just rolls badly the entire time.
Yeah.
Even though, according to crit roll stats, he should have a success chance way higher than that.
Yeah, though I will say that this episode's a pretty good demonstration of, like, the difference between the mechanical difference between, like, a fighter or more monk-type character and, like, a barbarian, because, like, the fighter/monk, you know, that Kern means that he hits a lot. Like, most of his attacks hit, but they do a smaller amount of damage. Because, you know, monk is punch. Like, it doesn't matter if you're punching... It doesn't matter if one punch does, like, 2 points of damage. When you're punching 5,000 times around, you know, pow, it's gonna do it. Whereas, like,
yeah,
Grog,
and Travis just got incredibly unlucky with his rolls.
Yeah, Grog should have hit more, but, like, when he hits, it's a lot more damage per hit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, because they're both halving, so they're actually just doing it, like, these are very low. Like, he's not using an axe, he's bare-knuckling, so this is not his best move. But, like, he's still doing, like, I think closer to, like, 12 or 13 points of damage per hit to, like, Kern's, like, 7 or 8. Anyway, just interesting
frequently
stuff.
more because Kern keeps rolling 20s.
Yes, and still doesn't roll that high. So, yeah, it's really down to the wire, even though, like, you would expect it to be kind of, Grog, like, wiping the floor with him. But he just rolls incredibly poorly and does not add his modifier.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Nearly loses.
Yeah. Yeah, and they both get down to a hit point. Like, we see this, when it is implied that Kern did it, and then, we're at a point, and, Grog also has to do this endurance thing.
Uh-huh.
Relentless Rage, where he gets to, drop to 1. And they're just, like, there's 3 rounds where both are at 1 hit point. And neither of them manages to hit.
Which is amazing. I loved that. They're both, like, nearly dead. Like, Grog rolls 3 attacks, hits once, but is not enough.
He doesn't even hit.
He doesn't even hit,
like,
right.
We're at a point where it's like, okay, yeah, the orc feat where they don't go unconscious, but instead to 1 has been triggered. now you can finish him with one attack, and he misses.
Yeah.
3. All 3.
Yeah.
3 times. Which is not how I remember this fight going.
No.
At all. And after 2 of those attacks don't hit, Vex now goes to the most desperate maneuver and lifts up her shirt, which, fun scene.
Yes.
Technically.
Very fun scene.
But, like, if I picked up my shirt now, there's an undershirt, and then there's nothing, but I'm in the comfort of my own home.
Yes. Are you wondering how she
wearing,
lifts her armor?
Daytime pajamas. Wouldn't she have been wearing armor or any kind of underwear that you can't just pull up like that?
Now, listen. This is Watsonian reasoning. I'm not saying that this is what she did. I'm saying that this is how I like to think of it as happening in canon, to justify it, okay?
She popped the titty out the top of her bodice?
No. That would be good, but that wouldn't look very nice. I'm thinking that, like, I'd like to imagine this whole fight happening and the chants happening, and the whole time Vex is, like, methodically taking off her armor. It's like, yeah, Grog, taking off the thing. Just, like, the amount of preparation that it takes. Like, this is not spontaneous. It's just, like, armor off. Taking off her bra out of her shirt.
Where Vex just takes off her armor the entire time, just in case of emergency.
Yeah, and like I like to think that Vex did this knowingly and decisively, and knew that she was gonna do it the whole time. It's just like, yeah, hang on, I'm gonna do the thing where I take off my bra without taking off my shirt. And it's like, okay, we're ready. This took me 10 minutes, but we're ready.
Can you do that?
Oh, taking off the bra without taking off the shirt? Yeah, I can do that.
Do you pull it out of your neckline or out of your sleeve?
Actually at the bottom. It's not very elegant, but I can do it. Yeah, I didn't learn how to do it in a sexy way. I learned how to do this so that nobody would see my boobs when I need to change in a bus.
Yeah, I mean, same. My mom taught me to do it and pull the bra through the sleeve, but this is like,
hang on,
but my bra is too big for my sleeve.
Hang on. I'm doing this right now because I'm wearing a bra.
Can you turn your camera on for that?
Do you want to see me take off my bra? Sure. And then at the bottom. There we go. Bra off.
Huh.
I'm going to put it back on now. It's a lot harder to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We have live stripping right here on this
live
podcast.
Stripping and live unstripping. Hang on, this is going to take a sec.
Over the years, I've kind of stopped pulling it out of my sleeves and now just reach into my cleavage and pull it out that way when I take it off.
I think that one's probably more impressive because it's like, ta-da! Taking it off the bottom for me is just it's very much like, out, gone.
Drop.
We're done. It's like taking apart a gun, you know? It's just click, 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 done.
Okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Vex has her tits out now. Briefly.
So do I.
You're still dressed, darling.
Yeah, but Vex has her tits out. And everyone has weird reactions to it.
I mean, in the moment, the weird reactions are like Vex Matthew as Vax, who kind of pulls her shirt back down, which the real Vex would never.
He's offended that he had to see Vex's tits, which she tells him later that he did not stop being a brat, but he would not stop. He would allow this to happen because it's not his body, and he knows that. For all of Vex's problems, he has never once, tried to police Vex's body.
Yeah, the uncomfortable part happens when Orion is like, damn, and I'm not there.
Yeah.
Which a bit he brings back over and over again. We will talk about this in another episode, but I have there's a thing where he's really bad at reading a room in this regard and thinks he's being hilarious when it's actually just kind of weird coming from him.
Yeah. And another, the bar is on the ground, but I still like to note when people are not, when people are making an effort to not trip on the bar, Percy doesn't say anything about this.
Percy later says we all forgot about this. None of us remember that at all.
Yep.
He's the only one being polite about it. Taliesin isn't, but Percy is.
He's being such a gentleman about this. Yes, he saw the lady's nipples. No, he will not mention it.
I will also say that I kind of appreciate that Scannon's reaction to this was just to shout at Grog, look, it's her tits! Instead of blaming himself.
Tits. Do you get inspiration?
He didn't even, did he?
No, he did not. And if anything, Matt says that
Matthew!
If anything, this would be distracting, but he did not get... Which is, true. This is probably not a great idea. But he does not make him roll with disadvantage.
Fine.
I will say that the tits, I think, deserve inspiration. They're good tits. But...
Yep.
Canonically, they're good tits.
They are canonically very good tits, and this does, in a Persona kind of way, this is when they're, or more like in a Fire Emblem kind of way, this is where their social link ranks up.
Yep. He saw her titties once.
This is legitimately the reason why Vex is, after Scanlan and Pike in his list of friends.
Yeah, he saw her tits once.
And this is the time.
This is when the time was when he needed her most. She showed him her tits. When he was in his lowest of lows, about to go unconscious, she showed him her tits, and Grog will remember this.
Yeah, it didn't do shit in that round, and we needed for Scanlan to get up another inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And then Curran gets another round of attacks where he takes on a defensive stance.
Which is not a good call, but if you're seeing at the end that your opponent is about to go unconscious, I can see why this would be a justifiable thing for him to do, but I don't think it was a good call.
Yeah, maybe not. So it then takes up until the next round when Grog rolls an attack and then can add the inspiration from Scanlan that this is finally over and he is victorious.
Despite being a cheating bastard.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he wins. I'm glad that he got his dang lip reattached.
Yeah, he, this is why his lip heals better than Kern's.
Mm-hmm, because he got it attached. Whereas Kern has a cleft lip now.
Yeah. But I guess that just gives him more street cred in his chosen profession.
This? Oh, Grog the Victorious gave me this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So, do you still talk to him
Grog is being celebrated and he doesn't know how to handle positive attention.
Mm-hmm. He gets very awkward about this. What does he say? This is Philip. If you'd like to reach
Grog's not here right now. This is Philip. If you'd like to leave a message, come back another time.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. You do not know how to accept attention. But yeah, Gore gives him his address before reminding they clasp each other's arms. Sorry.
Much.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, there's this entire bit where they get money and Scanlan then comes to Grog and is like, so would you like to make friends with him so you feel better about yourself? Then Grog gets the money and is like, no, fuck that. And everyone is like, chaotic neutral.
Such chaotic neutral. So much chaotic neutral in this.
The chaotic neutral part, or if we were cringe millennials, the part that makes Grog and also Travis a Slytherin is the cheating bit.
But we're not cringe millennials. Or at least we're not cringe millennials.
We say this reluctantly.
Yes. And also we're cringe in other ways, and questionably I might not even be a millennial, so who knows?
Shush. You're an honorable millennial.
Thank you. But yeah, eventually he does creep over to where Kern is currently being
propped up by two clerics bleeding out.
Yes.
Several places. And funnily enough, he says that he gets 6k out of this, I think, from his 5k, and pays back Vex the money he lost.
Thank you,
and
Grog.
Yes, and he says that brings him down to the ground and makes him straighten himself up in a way to actually reach out to Kern now.
Yes, that's the grounding moment of just oh right, yes. Okay, there's the money. Yeah, you gotta pay the manager.
Not that chaotic neutral.
Not that chaotic neutral. I also will note that Keyleth got 20 gold out of this, or she would have gotten 20 gold. Because she did her first ever gamble.
She bet all of 5 gold, which is very fun.
Yeah. People tried to make her bet more, but Percy said, no, let her bet 5 gold. Because he's her friend, and they like each other very much.
Yes. Yeah, so Grog and Kern have a very manly exchange where they strongly and honorably clasp each other's forearms because they're so not gay. And then Grog gives him his address. Not number, but address.
Tells him to good luck with that dick.
That's Laura, actually.
Yeah.
Vex, but Laura.
Yeah, Vex. Hey, good luck with your dick. To which Kern says, And tries to clasp what's left of his dick. And also, maybe balls.
Though it has been pointed out many a time during this fight that he has very strong balls. He is very used to getting kicked and punched in the dick like you would in this kind of fighter.
He has very strong ball at this point.
You mean he was kicked so often it's only one now?
I think that when he was bleeding, I think maybe that's a good point for one of them to have burst or rolled out in some capacity. That is a thing that can happen.
And someone looked on and was very approving of this ball parade that was happening. Mm-hmm. Which we later find out is Earthbreaker or Shaker Groon?
Earthbreaker Groon, I think.
Earthbreaker, I think. Earthshaker is a Sailor Moon attack.
They also attempt to call him Earthbaker.
Earthbaker Groom, mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, so, Ganon tries to scam the bookie into giving him money too, but the bookie is very firm and no, you bet against Grog.
And he actually rolls very low on his deception, so...
Yeah.
Which is one of the few moments where that happens, so... Yep, that does not succeed.
And then Vex and Scanlan go get some people out of prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that while Vex's approach to this is uncomfortably ableist...
So ableist.
Yeah. It also is, like, efficient.
Yeah.
I mean...
And in the case of Keyleth...
Scanlan then going, oh, you want us to fill out paperwork? Well, I have some paperwork for you. Is actually a very efficient way to get rid of all of this.
Decent lawyering.
Sure.
Oh, you what? You have paperwork? I have even more paperwork. We have this and the release and this release, and oof, boy, you don't want to have to think of this release. The person they're speaking with then gets so flustered that when he tries to say that it's down to the amaranthine oubliette with fuel, he just... Blah, 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 blah. Go! Run!
Yeah, and this will probably be an occasion where in The Sims 4, a sim would die of embarrassment. They can't do that.
No. So, they get them out. Tiberius is made to pay.
Yes.
Thank God. And we get the first Grog wants a boy thing, which is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but mostly in how they misunderstand him and then make a thing out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they will turn this into a running joke, and it always just sounds bad, and it's always just wanting, like, a messenger.
Yeah. It's always wanting a messenger. It's never not wanting a messenger.
Like, at least
Why do they phrase it like this?
Yeah. Well...
Why can't they just go in and be like, I want a messenger, send me a messenger. And not
Somebody fetch me a messenger.
I want a young boy.
Yeah, so they do that. Grog asks around for a young boy who admires him and then gives him a gold and a medal to take to Kern. Does he ever check up on whether
Grog.
The medal is delivered?
Nope.
Do you think it was delivered?
I think so.
Maybe. Could see this going either way.
I think he asked a young fan to do it, and that's the person most likely to actually do it, not a collector.
Do you really think that a young boy would actually dare approach Kern like this?
While his balls are completely busted, sure.
Okay.
I mean, this is an episode about fandom in a way.
Yeah, it really comes all the way back around, huh?
It sure does. I think young fans are the most ballsy people in the world, so... Yeah, he probably would approach Kern.
Ballsy.
Something.
Something.
And then we go to break.
Yeah, there's a break. The break is brief-ish, I think. You get one intro, you get 2 Geek and Sundry ads, one for group hug? Right, yeah.
Baby Erica!
Yeah, baby Erica and some dude named Hector. And then...
They look so baby. It took me a second to recognize them because they look so baby.
Yeah. Yeah, this was before the dramatic haircut by Taliesin.
Yes. What a decisive haircut that was.
Yeah.
I think it changed things.
It sure did. And then Orion still has a show called Crowd Control with some other woman called Jessica. Just to be fair.
I don't know what this is about.
They play video games.
Sure. Whatever.
Good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go back into hole-in-the-wall mode.
Through which we see a Liam.
Liam just appears. He's just there, suddenly.
Yes. And then break wraps up. They're back to arranging their seats.
I kind of like this hole-in-the-wall kind of break where you just see everyone running back and forth, flitting in and out. talking to each other. You can see Liam and Marisha hugging. It's cute.
It's fine. It's decent. It's no like art scroll, but like it does its job, and it's better than many other things that happen during break.
Better than the intro, and better than your average Geek and Sundry song ad.
Yes. Yes. Better than being screamed at.
International Tabletop Day.
Having the creep show cam.
Yes.
So yes. So far, Hole in the Wall is kind of fun. I could see a nice revival of Hole in the Wall. It reminds me a little bit of like the end of Four-Sided Dive.
Yeah, yep. Similar cute vibes.
Similar cute vibes. Puttering around.
So after the break, Liam is here and he is sitting at the bottom table for a bit.
Yes, for a little bit.
And they are now sheepishly admitting to drinking apple juice. Just really expensive apple juice.
So expensive apple juice? Mott's apple juice, if you will. What is it that Towson says about it?
Gentle with that, apples don't grow on trees.
Yes. God, he's such an uncle vibe sometimes.
He just already making the dad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go back to this. Orion wants to make a wisdom check to unsee his sister's bobbies.
No, Vax. Orion does other things.
Yes, Orion does stuff.
Like, Tiberius is just convinced that when they go to Crackhammer and deliver this one thing to House Thunderbrand will just make them or re-enchant their carpet for some reason because they have so much goodwill towards them.
Yes, which to quote Towson before, you can't pay 9 women to make a baby in a month. No matter how much goodwill you have and how powerful they are, enchanting an item immediately is not going to happen.
And they don't even have that much goodwill towards you in the first place. You kind of cast spells at their house for 20 minutes once.
They're not going to spend 6 months enchanting something for you.
Even though they're one of the few places where you wouldn't get disrupted for the next 6 months.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Vax wants to unsee his sister's bobbies.
Yeah, they pronounce it weird.
They're boobies. Bubbies. He says that in a kind of like a boobala way.
Bubbies.
It's like, boobala. Boobies. He wants to unsee his sister's bubbies. Yes. And to which Vex immediately says that no, he did not see them. He was behind her.
I mean, even if he did, I don't really see what the big deal is, but hey, whatever.
Yes. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. They probably had to bathe together when they were babies. It's fine.
You shared a goddamn womb and you've been on, like, the road together for decades now. Well, a decade.
It's fine.
You really mean to tell me we've never seen each other naked? Is this really that weird for you?
Never ever. I mean, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to see my siblings naked. It'd be weird. But, like, have I? You know. We grow up together. Sometimes you have to change in the same room. It happens.
I mean, wanting is a very different thing from just having.
Yeah. It's just the nature of people. Like, it's, that one time I posted about, like, you know, sometimes you see your grandmother's boobs in a sauna.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good Tumblr post.
It is. It's a good Tumblr post.
Anyway, but surprisingly, Vax is actually one of the least weird people about her boobs.
Yes, many people are. Much weirder. For example, Ryan/Tiberius.
Ask Scanlan for a detailed description of the boobs.
Which, you made a really good point here to ask, like, why would a Dragonborn even be attracted to boobs?
Yeah! I mean, yeah, okay, this is probably what kind of makes it go all the way around to be uncomfortable, or, like, more uncomfortable from him, because this is, like, even if you give the fact that Tiberius now has a crush on Vex and stuff, it is so half-baked for him to be attracted to Tits, of all things.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a dragon, he's a lizard, he's a reptile.
Like, first of all, attraction to Tits is socially constructed.
So, of course.
There's cultures, even amongst humans, where women just have their tits out the entire time because those are for babies.
Why are you making this voice?
Me?
Yes, is this a disclaimer voice?
No, it's maybe. Second of all, you know what doesn't have boobs? Lizards. Dragons.
Lizards don't have boobs. They don't have them. They simply do not have them. If a lizard had boobs, where would they have the boobs even?
I don't know, but I think I've worked this out with Moni from my D&D party that, if anything, having, like, big bulbous things on your chest would be more like a sign of aggression.
Yeah, like a dewlap. Like I'm inflating this to seem bigger and scarier.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you.
Like, far be it from me to judge someone for developing an aesthetic appreciation for tits.
Yeah, but like, it's... The aesthetic appreciation is not an attraction make. It also...
Doesn't make this any less weird.
Yeah, it's just weird. Keyleth...
Also voices her regrets on having missed the tits.
Yeah, which, I'm now realizing that Keyleth was also there, so she has a literal say, like, she was also not subjected to Vex's tits, so I wasn't correct.
Yeah, exactly, that was my point earlier, because when I was asking you whether this is a double standard or not, and in a way, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Though at the very least, you can say that Keyleth is a mammal.
True! Yeah.
Usually she's a mammal.
Yeah, and she's also a lot quieter about this. And then Taliesin, not Percy, brings it all the way back around and crosses several lines by saying, well, how about you give this detailed description to the internet?
Taliesin Chappie.
Then everyone goes like, oh, and, good bit, everyone. Now to the silent staircase with all of you.
Yes.
Is this
all
a thing?
of you. The silent staircase?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
So, I know you had in America there was this show about the Super Nanny 2, where, like, people with unruly children would call a very British woman to help them make their children less unruly or something.
Yes.
I'm
aware of this. I never watched it, though.
Why would you? It's trash TV.
It's so trash TV.
Yes. The German version of this was also called Super Nanny, and ours did a thing where a child that misbehaved was sent to the Stille Treppe, the silent staircase, to think about what they did or something. Which is probably not a good way to punish a child.
No.
Weirdly authoritarian, very German in that, but it was also excessively memeable.
Yeah. To the silent staircase with you.
Yep. Pretty much. They then
It also sounds a bit like a threat, because it's like, a silent staircase is where you would be most likely to be pushed down the stairs and nobody will ever know.
I don't think I don't think they did that with the children, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Anyway, they then do some sleuthing. Mm-hmm. Well, Vex does some sleuthing, and they ask the barkeep about Groon. And apparently, like, the barkeep also doesn't know shit about why Groon was there and nodding, but it was a big deal. Big honor.
Super big deal. Yes. Which means that they have to go see them before...
Actually, doesn't mean that at all, but they go.
Obviously, it means they have to go see them before they leave.
Fine. Before that person needs to have...
This is their justification, not mine.
Before that person needs to have a brilliant and slightly inebriated thought.
Yeah, it is actually a brilliant and slightly inebriated thought, which is that he needs to get black powder and ore. Well, actually, he just says that he needs ore. And hey, you know what the section where Groon is?
Also in the direction?
It's also the blacksmith section. It's also where all the blacksmiths live.
Right, and the blacksmith also swears to court, so hey, that makes sure. Go ahead.
Yep. It's not a bad thought.
Fine. Anyways. So, now... Oh! We didn't resolve the situation with the boobs. Well... Vex then says to Vex that, like, I was right there was no way around it, her doing what she did. And then Percy adding, you did what you had to do, which is a very nice way to resolve this. It's what she needed to do. It was her, her honor-bound boob revealing. Did it do anything? Yes. Spiritually, maybe. It affected her and Grog's friendship. And that's what matters. So anyways. Maybe the real friends are the boobs we made along the way. God damn it! And we found an opinion. Yeah, you spoiled it. Keep it to yourself in the future. Okay. We can't just cut this if we don't come up with a better opinion. Yeah. But anyway, are you ready for? Come on. Victor? Yes! Victor! Okay. I thought that you were gonna say it. I mean, the hype is not that real. Though I will say this early appearance of Victor is not my favorite of his. No, my favorite is the second, but it is definitely, I think, the best Victor voice. It is. And, it's just, I don't know when Matt had this brewing, but he's just on immediately.
Yeah, apparently he had like a lot of scripts ready for this episode, or a lot of characters ready, if nothing else. But the character just leaps out of him. It just opens his mouth and climbs out.
He just has this detailed description about Victor just being a weirdo who just collects stuff from mining operations, and among the stuff is just black powder that's just everywhere.
Yes.
He's literally living in a powder camp.
Yes. I knew it had a purpose.
Yes, he was just collecting it, but didn't know what it does. Doesn't know what it does,
No,
which is why everything is covered in it.
It's also fun. They enter the building to look at and there's a forge on one side that's been turned off for a very long time, but Tellson's is like, yeah, I hope so. It's very like road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope so.
Yeah, and he just gingerly steps in there and still gets black powder all over him when Victor is very enthusiastic and very like, this is just, Matt does so much.
He's just bouncing all over the walls. He's chewing
so
the scenery.
much.
Percy's mostly just kind of responding very quiet, like, yes, okay.
I mean, Percy is kind of afraid of blowing up any second now, so I understand why he's a little bit hesitant here.
Yes. It's just kind of affirming. He does actually manage to... There's a nice Versailles scene, believe it or not.
Yes.
Which, like, he gets charged, I think, like, 1,000 gold?
I think he goes, like, he first asks for the barrel, then for the hogshead, and then he's like...
Which he calculates as some very specific number.
Yes, and you see, and he does, like, math in the air, and it's just like... Matt does so much.
So much.
But
again, the character is just climbing out of him and like spouting off conspiracy theories. It's insane.
You can see the drool running down his mouth. Yes, I can actually. I can see it as if I was really there.
I can see it. Mm-hmm.
This is so good.
It's amazing.
Like, but and for the hogshead, I think he originally charged us like 426 gold or something around that ballpark, and then Percy's like 400, and you point me to one of your friends.
Yes. But after he's encouraged by Laura to haggle.
Yes, like
think of me.
And yes, and he does. He does beautifully, not just here, but also on the next stop. And also like...
The vex that lives in his brain.
Yes. I'm sure you have a friend. You seem so amiable.
Yes.
Percy's probably just really having a panic attack at this moment.
Yeah. This whole encounter, again, isn't like you... I agree with you. It's not my favorite Victor moment. My favorite Victor moment is Victor moment number 2. But it's so good. Like, every line of it is so iconic.
Yeah.
He seems so amiable.
There was actually no persuasion roll where somebody rolled 5, right?
No.
But, so then what? And the next time you meet him is when the next time they are in Vasselheim. So, where did they set up the joke? Oh well, whatever.
Which one? What joke?
No, like somebody says during, when the German is coming out. It is almost midnight.
It's a long episode.
When Vex is like trying to haggle him down and bribe him into not charging them for his silence.
No, she rolls them.
And she rolls a 12, but everyone is like, you only need like a 5 or something for persuasion. But I guess that was just because he seemed so desperate for Vex.
I think so. Or maybe that was a reference to something else, but he doesn't roll for this one, I think.
Yeah. God, the second encounter is so good.
It's so good.
But this one is also very good.
Taliesin has another line that's great, which is that he buys a hog's head, which is, again, a literal hog's head. It's a dried up head of a pig, which makes me wonder, do you think he gets a deposit back if he brings the dried up pig's head back?
He could try.
I mean, does he just have a lot of hogs' heads?
I think this was just something he randomly had lying around.
I think Matt doesn't know what a hog's head is, or didn't know at that point. I was like, yeah, a hog's head, clearly. I'll roll with it.
Is it just a unit of measurement?
It's half a barrel. It's like a small barrel.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, after he gets it, and he's immediately then shoved bodily out of the place, the door's slammed. He's pointed towards Samson.
There's just a poof cloud of black powder all over him.
And he stands in daylight, covered in black powder, just confused and holding a barrel of explosive material. Taliesin then says he turns excited to hear another accent. No, because everyone in this town just has a weird accent.
And then the table just starts clapping for Victor.
Yes. Which, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It was a brief moment, but Jesus Christ, was it memorable.
Yeah, that was a one-man act. That was like a one-act play of a character.
Yeah. Actually, he gets 3 acts. 4, technically, if you consider his end.
Yes. But that that is a character.
He has an arc.
Yeah, he loses fingers.
In his life.
And his life.
But he goes out with a bang.
Yeah, it's just... God, Victor.
Victor. But I also will say that I'm very sad that we never see Samson as neighbor again.
Yeah, Samson's fun. Samson's weirdly... I don't know if Talison's playing Percy as being a little attracted to Samson, or if it's just me reading it.
I see what you mean, but I think Percy was just very glad to meet a
normal person.
Yeah, a normal person, a person who is not going to blow him up.
Yeah, and not that Samson is very impressed by Percy. He's just, please stay on the doorstep. Don't come inside. There's fire.
Yeah, he is very interested in that. Okay, you are really dirty, but your clothes are fancy, so there's business to be had with you later on, so I will give you this other discount.
Yes.
Like, Percy just rolled a 25 and a 24 in persuasion for this, because, Taliesin.
He comes out of this with a cart of ore and a literal hogshead full of gunpowder, which is, to Percy, a very successful day.
Yeah, and he's going to need those supplies in just a little bit. Boy, is he going to need them.
Yes, he is. Boy, oh boy, is he going to need them.
So, meanwhile...
on the other side of this exact district...
well, for a brief shot over to the tavern, where Keyleth is still getting drunk and Tiberius is not supervising her, but teaching his pet how to scout, while the pet is still having food poisoning, and it can also talk, apparently.
Well, I assume it's like... okay, this is more me Watsonianing, but do you think maybe it's because it's draconic and he's not sapient and it's just kind of like very rudiment? I don't know, it's weird. This part is weird to me too. I was wondering too, wait, can wyverns talk to Dragonborn if that's the case?
It is like cannibalism.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
As soon as it talks, this is not okay anymore.
Yeah, as soon as it talks. I mean, maybe it's like a parrot. Is it like a parrot talks?
But can you send a parrot to scout and then tell you what it has seen?
You can't even send a parrot to get you a milk from the grocery store. You can't send a parrot to get you a pack of cigarettes.
That's a specific example.
So I'm just saying, a parrot's not a parrot is the exact intersect of intelligence and chaotic nature that, sure, you could probably train it to get you something, but if that involved, opening the window and letting the parrot out and, trusting it to get you something and come back, absolutely not. That parrot's fucking gone forever.
Yeah, but apparently Lockheed, the food poisoned Pluto dragon, is capable of communication. Yes. So let us just let that sit there for a bit. Yeah, sure. Of course. I don't know why he's training this animal while it's still very sick, but okay. I will read out my last note on this thing, which is this is not how any of this should work, but okay, fine. It won't bother us for long. What's that? You're right, it won't bother us for long. But what's that, that one anime clip that's that guy has horns. Oh, whatever, I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. I don't think I've seen that, but, I mean, sure. That's how I feel about this, hey, wait a minute, that shouldn't work. I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. Yeah, I think this is also Matt's approach to this. Mm-hmm. I'm just not going to Shadow Ryan no right now. Yeah, fine, whatever. I'm going to reserve my no for something more important. Yeah. So then we go over to Grog with the twins, who now takes the next step. And Scanlan. What? Twins and Scanlan. Okay, cool. And he is now taking the next step on his religious journey. He is. He's going to go see Earthbreaker Garoon, who is, has a valet of some sort who has taken a vow of silence. Yeah, there's a bit of, finagling to get in there. Which are being so respectful. They make fun of that. It's whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever. They play love scene music. They do. And then he just has, like, this monologue, like Rune hasn't just watched him fight, he, like, knows backstory details, because he's an avatar of Gore, I guess. Gore can do the Ioun thing, too, where he gives people visions. And then he does this thing where he says, like, perhaps there may be a use for Court of you and your compatriots in the future, and yet...
If you live.
Yeah! Matthew! How about that?
That never happened.
This is so frustrating to see this, because Grog had his wonderful religious arc just set up like this, follows it in like a few steps program all across the campaign, and then when he's like, this is not my time, this is time to cash in on this religious arc that I've been having, Matthew's just like, no, sorry.
Here's a forge.
It's just hammer something.
There you go. Do you want to be a champion? No.
Oh, you wanted to do something with this religious arc, in this religious arc that we have. Sorry. None for Grog. Bye.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. Sorry. Anyway, I think Grog should have a religious arc later in his life. I think that would be really funny.
So should Percy.
So should Percy. But I think Grog should be, like, 65, like... way past his age of, like, retirement, and, like, be like, I expected to have died already of, like, fighting something. And then Kern just shows up and is like, hey, let's go in and arc you with me. Here's Kern. He's here also.
Aww.
I mean, I don't know. Kiss about it. With their fucked up lips.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Okay.
Probably it's an arc to... Probably they're there to, like, get the hand of whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of a muscle queen journey.
Sure. Something.
Yeah. That's my fanfiction.
Good. Neat. Cool.
Not my last fanfiction of this episode, by the way. We'll get to the other one.
Wonderful.
But this whole thing goes over actually pretty quickly. This is kind of all that he wants to say to them.
Yeah, there's no... Like, he's not giving quests right now, so they're just off. And they decide to leave the town. Mm-hmm. Of course, like, this is so funny to me. They're just approaching the airship and looking at it. Then Tiberius starts drawing the arcane sigil onto the ground, and then Liam is like, hey, sorry, by the way, I've gotten 2 tattoos done as a walk-in today.
Which, thank God, Matt actually knows how tattoos work, so he's very much says, like, no, you didn't get them right now. You got them over the course of the few days while you were waiting for the other Tarla team to show up, which makes more sense.
Yeah. I will also say I find it quite weird that you would have, like, elven sounds. I mean, it's supposed to be a VM for Vox Machina. I understand that. Yeah. But why elven?
I also have a question for you. Yeah, elven's weird. I don't know what that one's either. I think that, like, he says a couple things about elven in this episode which are weird. Once again, I lean to my interpretation of Vax being more elf.
Okay, but...
Passing than
Vex.
Like,
Vax being more elf
no,
passing
it doesn't
than
make
Vex.
sense.
And then being like he very snidely to Vex says this episode that he took more to arithmetic and elven than she did. And like...
Yeah, which is weird.
Wouldn't she feel so fucking betrayed by all of this?
Yeah, she would. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So mean?
It's kind of very mean. I also had a question for you.
Sure.
So I was trying my best to understand what he meant by the whole arithmetic symbol thing. I could not get it. It went over my head completely.
A D20.
Okay, thank you. I was very confused.
That's the, yeah. It's a 20-sided thing, which is just the D20. He got the 2 symbols tattooed on his wrists. The Vox Machina symbol that they all have tattooed on their bodies right now in real life. You can tell Marisha is up for it because she's like, oh, are we getting this together? We're drunk. Let's get tattoos together.
Yeah.
I sure hope that's not how they did this in real life.
I don't know, like, he just took on such a roundabout journey to explain, like, oh, you know math? I know math. I took math classes. Do you know arithmetic? And I was like, in my brain trying to understand, like, is he getting, like, a... Because I know that what tattoos Liam has, but I was just trying to understand, like, is it like a Pythagorean thing? Is it like a triangle? Is it a spiral? Is it like a...
No, it's just a D20.
You know, it's just a D20.
I mean, it's a 20...
I was so confused
It's a 20-sided shape or something. It's what he was winding up to explain. You just had to take 2 cheap shots at Vex and go into backstory in ways that would be like, oh...
Yeah, no, the whole thing confused me to no end, and I was just hoping that you would understand it, so I'm very glad that you understood it.
Yeah, I understood the end result. I'm just still kind of, it's This is just so casually hurtful. If you know anything about how Laura understood Vex's backstory, like, holy fucking shit.
And I know that Guillaume didn't intend it to be hurtful, but like, wow.
Yeah, because he doesn't think about
these things. That would be very
hurtful.
hurtful. Yeah, he doesn't think about these things, but like, wow. Getting like a tattoo at Elven being like, I enjoyed, like, I know you enjoyed it. Like, I think he says, like, I know you enjoyed it. You didn't enjoy our Elven classes.
You didn't take to it. Like, he took to arithmetic, he took to Elven more than she did. And it's just so pointed. If you know where this is going, it's like, ugh.
How Vax?
No wonder you yelling at her how wonderful she is doesn't deal with her issues, huh?
Yeah, what the fuck,
What
Vax?
the fuck?
Anyway, they're getting big cannons installed on the airship, which is also very funny because they don't take the airship, like you said.
No! They just walk up right there and then just decide not to.
Nah.
Like, do you think anyone told the airship they don't have to wait for them anymore?
I was hoping that at the very least, like, the installation of the cannons was reason enough for them to stay. But, like, maybe they weren't waiting, they were just waiting for the cannons to stop being installed. But they sure should have sent word ahead, huh?
Yeah, like, it's amazing that later on this airship takes them on again so readily after they just, like, left them there.
Yeah, and they didn't even say anything, so you know that the airship was, like, checking their watch and being like, hey, should we leave? Like, they're not...
Hey, did you see this arcane flesh over there? Did our clients just disappear?
Why do we... Hey, guys, do you know where Vox Machina went? And, like, had to, like, send someone in town to be like, hey, did you guys see... Oh, okay, alright. Fuck me, guys, we got stood up.
Yeah, this is very uncool of them.
So uncool.
Also uncool, technically, is Tiberius just drawing a teleportation circle in the middle of the city, which is the precise kind of arcane magic they're afraid of.
Divine City, no arcane stuff.
Like, this is like the worst offense, technically.
Though thankfully they went out and not in. In is the main thing. What were we talking about?
We were talking about how Tiberius has cast a teleportation circle in the middle of the city that hates arcane magic for this exact reason.
But I guess, like, teleporting out is probably better than teleporting in.
But can you tell?
No.
You cannot.
Probably a bunch of guards came to this place and were like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck,
oh my god. Yeah, but,
like,
we're just done here. Bye.
Bye.
They don't even tell Pike they're leaving.
Yeah. Though I guess Pike doesn't particularly care because she already said goodbye to them.
Sure, but, like... Ah, well. Pike figures out where they are.
Ah, well. Yeah. It's fine. It's just not fine for the city of Vasselheim, but also the city of Vasselheim fucking sucks. So
yeah, they can deal. They can deal.
Anyway, so they go back to Iman. Well, first they stop off at, Xanthus.
They pop back into the, Lyceum, because they... Is the teleportation circle in the house finished and Tiberius just doesn't know it yet?
I don't think they have a teleportation. Do they have a teleportation?
Yes, Alora is installing it.
Oh, okay, right.
So they won't have to drop in on this. I wanted to say poor gatekeeper, but is he really?
No, but I do understand. I don't want to... Okay, so this is Gatekeeper Xanthus. Well known for... I mean, we're going to spoil the whole campaign in this, but, like...
he will return.
Well known as the guy who feeble-minded Allura.
Yes.
Well-known traitor, died by getting shot in the face by Vex. So I don't want to come out here as a Xanthus supporter, because I don't like the guy.
No, he doesn't deserve our support, but...
Maybe.
They are being assholes to him.
Maybe if they just did all the paperwork the first time without bitching about it, without lying to him, or without trying to get around him, and maybe if they hadn't shit in his hallway...
Yeah, that might just have been his moment. That was his turn moment. This was like, okay, up until here, no further. Okay. Now I'm evil.
Now I'm evil.
Bitches.
Sorry. Those bitches. I guess I'll take that, Vecna cult deal.
It was more like from a conclave deal, right?
I truly can't remember anymore. It may have been the Chroma Conclave.
It was during the Chroma Conclave arc that he turned.
Yeah, the extended Chroma Conclave arc. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like, I guess I'll take that deal with Rashawn.
I will say that Vax, Tiberius, and Percy are completely down with doing the paperwork when they find out that he would lose his job over them not doing so. So
they're still bitching about it, though.
Yeah. Vax does the most bitching here.
Yes, she does. which is fun to me. Well, number one, she's allowed because I love her. Number two is completely unbiased here. Number two, it's funny because she's the one who kills him.
Right! Oh my god, this comes all the way back around.
Like we said, this episode has a lot of weird foreshadowing.
Yes, I completely missed this the first time, like, the first few times around. It was just like, is this a guy? Okay, is there some guy they know? Fine, okay. It completely went over my head.
Yeah, they don't spend a lot of time explaining who he is. They're just like, oh yeah, it's Gatekeeper Xanthus. Fucked it up.
Sure, Gatekeeper Xanthus, a high noon lesbian kiss, fine.
Yeah, they've got other things to worry about. It's not that time. Fucked up for real. Bye.
And it's been real.
Yeah, it's been real.
But now they're back in Imon, which is so beautiful. And it
paved
has paved roads.
Cobblestone.
Civilization for realsies.
A boy.
Oh yeah, a boy. There's
a boy. There's a boy camped out.
There's a boy camped out.
There's a boy camped out. There's a boy camped out. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
So they are then told by their guards that, hey, you see that tent over there right outside your keep? That's a boy. It's a boy there.
Yeah, who, like, peeks out, goes back in, and then Vex is like, who's in this tent? And then they just awkwardly stare at each other. And, the weirdest thing, you could tell that Matt had written this bit out, because instead of first addressing the literal person standing right in front of him, he just goes by table order, just scooching past Vex. Oh, hi, Percy! Oh, Keyleth! Oh, Tiberius!
Yes. All of you were in my dream last night. It's like, you were all there. Just so very Wizard of Oz.
And the twins! All those bodies you felt. All those bodies at your feet. Which body count are we talking about?
Okay. That's a weird compliment. Percy, the fire that you shoot from your tube. Okay.
Maybe you should get that looked at.
Yeah, I think that's what they say. You should get that looked at.
He calls Keyleth the druid princess.
Which is not incorrect.
Is that what the tabloids are writing about her?
But here comes my hot take. Vex should have been the one to handle this. And Vex was the one to handle this.
How is this a hot take, darling sweetheart?
Because whenever we talk about Kynan, we don't talk about how, like, we sort of, I have this perception of, like, if you'd asked me before I rewatched this episode to explain to you, like, what had happened in the scene, I'd see that Vax was the one to talk to him, and then he attacked him, and then then he did his, like, his shovel talk.
Not quite a shovel talk, but he did walk that all the way back, huh?
Yeah, he sure did. But I did completely forgot that, no, Kynan doesn't talk to Vax. He talks to Vex.
Well, Vex talks to him.
Yeah, and she's firm. She asks him, like, okay, who trained you? How long were you here? Why are you here? What do you want? But, like, she's also very gentle with him. She's, like, she's excited. She's like, oh, hi, who are you? What's your name? Like, it seems like she's firm with him. She's going to tell him no. She insight checks him. Mm-hmm. But she is also not very mean to him.
She's trying to take care of a very lost-looking little boy.
Yeah, well, not even a little boy, but a teenager. Or, like, a 19-year-old.
He's a little boy. Have you seen 19-year-olds?
He's a little boy. He's a little boy. And she does talk about him, and, like, this whole thing, and the thing that which Percy and Vex, again, have, like, a married thing about it, reminds me of much, again, like, oh, right, yeah, Vex does, parent, huh? She is a parent at the end of this. And, I don't know, it just seems like at some point she mentions that...
She's also just, like...
They could have...
Nice.
Yeah, she says, like, later after Vex scared him off that she was just kind of, like, planning on, like, giving him a job in the kitchens.
Or, like, getting him trained with the guards.
Which would have been completely reasonable.
Or giving him literally anything to do. And if he doesn't want that kind of job, like they argue, that's fine.
That's, that's a conversation that they'll have.
But they should have maybe had a conversation before they assaulted technically, maybe not a minor, but a little teenager.
A teenager. A young adult. Mid-conversation, mid-gentle but firm conversation, when Vex literally walks up and clocks him in the back of the head with a dagger.
Just sneak attack, auto crit, everything, 66 points of damage. This boy has died 5 times.
Yeah, and you can tell also that, like, the moment that he does this, that, like, Laura/Vex, like, loses all of her, like, hardness, because she's, like, not hardness, but, like, like, her hard-ass sternness, because she's like, you're gonna kill him! He's a boy, you're gonna kill the boy!
This is maybe Tiberius' shining moment of moral integrity, Because he is the one to give Vex a hard time overloading his superior strength over this boy.
And you know what, Tiberius is right. It's not a fair trial. Because essentially, like, their point was, like, I think Keyleth says, like, we could have given him a trial. And Vex says, no, this was...
Tiberius says this would have been a trial, and Keyleth says this was his trial. Like...
Oh, okay, thank you.
Funny enough, Keyleth falls on the, I'm all for getting him the fuck away from here, but I still think that it was irresponsible for you to even tell him to keep training, because this is not a life for a child or anyone, and all we do is bad, which...
Yeah, Keyleth teeter-totters a little bit. She's like, she starts off by saying, like, hey, why'd you hit him? But she also agrees with him, but she also comes down on the like, don't tell him to train, because, okay, long story short, Vex hits the Kainen in the back of the head. Which, I think, like, part of what frustrates me on the second watch now is that it's not just that he does this stupid and cruel thing, but that it's also another moment of, like, Vax taking something away from Vex. Because, like, she was mid-conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's like, nope, this is mine. This is my thing now.
Yeah, and then he just monopolizes the entire scene, because when he like... This is so weird, because he apparently also notices that everyone disliked that, then walks it all the way back, gets all the way into Kainen's face, and is very insistent on, get ready, and then I will be your mentor.
Which is, like, Kainen seems okay with it, but also, like, that's not how you mentor someone. That's literally telling someone...
Do we even know that Kainen was, like... Do we even know whether Kainen was your fan specifically? Maybe he wants Vex to mentor him. Maybe he wants somebody else.
Yeah, he seems really impressed by Keyleth, if anything.
I mean, his skill set wasn't really... He later on ends up becoming a rogue, so yes, Vex would have had his skill set.
Yeah, but he also got clocked in the back of the head with a dagger, so, like, I wouldn't... Like, sure, that is a very impressive moment in the sense of, like, having an impression made on you. He made an impression on the back of his head.
Permanent one, yes.
Yeah.
It just has like a permanent dent in the back of his head from that.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. I guess he should be a rogue now. I don't know. But I think my thought too is also like the whole thing of just like get ready and then I'll be your mentor. It's like, okay. That's not how...
But how does he get ready now?
Yeah, that's not what mentoring somebody is. Like, mentoring is making someone ready. Saying, like, get ready and then I'll mentor you. It's like, okay, that's nothing. That's nothing. You're saying, go find another mentor. I'm busy right now.
You know what Kira's attitude here is kind of in line with?
What?
How, like, arguably this moment repeats itself when they all just started taking Terry out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And Kira has a very similar attitude there, doesn't she?
She does.
So does everyone else.
Is it also...
Including Vex.
Did Vex interact? Did Vex help haze Terry, or did she not?
No, Vex comes there and asks them what the fuck is wrong with them.
Yeah, Vex is always... Oh god, Vex, I'm so sorry.
Vex, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your friends are assholes.
They are. Vex is just the person who comes into the room and everything's on fire. She's like, why did you do this? I left you for 5 minutes with a child. This is also, I think, that Vex would probably not actually be that good of an uncle.
No!
I left you for my daughter for 5 minutes with a Revivify diamond, just in case. Anyway, this whole thing is
and
just,
in this
upsetting.
5 minutes, she has died 3 times and sold her soul twice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Why did you do this?
Yeah, so, Kainen leaves in tears, heavily traumatized, and also, like... He says, like, I thought you were heroes, and, yeah, not very heroic to just knock him out like that, huh? Like, even if they could have just given him, like, a straight-on trial where he has to face one of them in actual combat. I will...
Yeah, like Grog just had.
I will say that while I agree, of course, that this isn't, like... I think nobody would say that Kainen should have joined here, or that they shouldn't have turned him down. But I will say that I think it would have been better for him emotionally, in every conceivable way, if he had been given a fair chance. Yes, the argument is going to be that, of course, their line of work isn't fair, and they will get clocked from behind at any second now. Fine, yes, of course, but
that's not lesson one.
It's not lesson one, and it's still, like... If you give him a chance to fight you and realize that even when he tries his darndest and his hackingest, he is just not cut out for this. This leads to a healthier internal journey to figure this out, right? Instead of just, like, knocking him out and then yelling in his face about how he just needs to be ready. Like, what?
Yeah, I know, I agree with you. I think that, like... There's something
this is
like
bullying.
If you want to teach somebody a lesson, you have to give. Yeah, this is bullying. If you want to teach somebody a lesson, the thing you do is you teach them a lesson. You don't knock them, you don't hurt them just for the sake of hurting them. And this feels like hurting them just for the sake of hurting them.
Because you don't learn from a failure if you were cheap-shotted. If the odds were against you and somebody just, like, did this behind your back, and this was a cheap shot and bullying. You learn your lesson when you've been allowed to try your hardest and fail anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's, like, a much...
said by someone who has experienced both at the same time.
Same! So you learn from trying very hard and failing anyway. And also, I think that probably the best thing would have been just to send him to the kitchens and every time that he bitches, be like, listen, you want to be an adventurer? 99% of adventuring is peeling potatoes. The other 1% is fighting.
He probably would have been happy to train under Jared or something.
Yeah, that would have been fine. I agree with Vex. Just send him to the kitchens, have him do some, clearly, I think that, like...
He kind of just mostly wanted a purpose.
Yeah, this is more Watsonian reasoning for me of, like, why I think Vex gets this so quickly, which is also, like, if a boy is here... Like, a 19-year-old kid is, agreeing to live in a tent on your lawn, they probably don't have a great home life.
Yeah.
It's probably not the wisest thing to send him home to his bitcher dad, who we know later is kind of a dick.
Honestly, if he is determined to stay on a tent on their lawn for 2 weeks and his parents let him...
It's not great.
Nope. It's something that Vax should have understood, huh?
Should have, but no.
He took away very different lessons from his childhood.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely like an alternate universe where Vex didn't, came 5 minutes later and didn't clock him in the back of the head and just like...
And Kynan was a well-adjusted guard at their castle.
Yes. Or like, just, lived it like...
go into step cute and half dead.
Or your project is killing your girlfriend.
Which is a great line, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but also just like cheap-shotting him in this way was actually the best kind of setup they could have given for Ripley to manipulate him into believing that Vox Machina is fucking evil. Because doing this was fucking evil.
Yeah. It was an objectively evil thing to do.
This was objectively bullying. And the fact that Tiberius is the one who has to point this out is also kind of sad.
Back to your point of, like, adventuring isn't fair, and, like, doing this is kind of a demonstration of how it's not fair. It's like, well, yeah, it's not fair when it's done, like, but it's done by unfair and evil people. And, like, what are you showing someone by doing, like, it's like teaching somebody by hurting them that there is evil in the world. It's like, okay, the only thing you've proven to them is that you are willing to be that evil person. And, like, that's low, and that's bad.
There's evil in the world, and that's apparently you.
Yeah. You're not, by doing a hurtful and cruel thing to someone, you are not doing anything but adding more hurtfulness and cruelty to the world.
They should really get a PR team for opportunities like this. Also, this is just horrible optics.
Horrible optics. Vox Machina, get a PR manager.
Seriously?
That's probably what Terry is. Unfortunately.
He's more like a propagandist, the same way Scanlan is.
Sure, Scanlan's a propagandist. Yeah, okay.
Terry is too.
Terry is more of a propagandist than Scanlan is.
Terry is more dedicated to the craft of storytelling than Scanlan is, but whatever.
Terry is doing more propaganda by publishing porn vaguely, loosely based on Vax than Scanlan is doing anything.
Anyway, so that was fucked up, and as always, Liam just kind of shuts down any conversation about how his character just did a fucked up thing.
Yep. And, pretty much that's, never addressed again.
Yep, like many of the fucked up things Vax does over the years.
If you're hoping to have this addressed appropriately...
Nope. He will just uncomfortably talk to Kynan. A lot.
Mm-hmm. In a stilted way, and it will always be the exact same conversation.
Yep.
No, it will never lead anywhere, except for one...
After he comes from having the exact same conversation with Gilmore 3 times.
The only good conversation that he has from Kynan from this point on, or I guess in general, is the time where he gives Kynan his snake, and then he realizes that Kynan never fed his snake, and then he takes the snake back.
And Kynan never wanted the snake in the first place, so he doesn't give a shit.
It's fine. It's a belt. What does he want with it? It's not, I don't want a snake.
I don't need a weird snake belt. What?
This is what? Okay. Anyway, and then Keeper of Steam shows up.
Yeah, they get a very quick, they get apparently a full feast within 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's one of those quick meal feasts. It's a microwavable feast.
This is a TV feast.
It's a TV feast.
I mean, the TV they watch is Pike being cool at her temple.
In front of a pile of shit, I will remind you.
that she kept in a jar because she thought it looked special.
Yeah.
We established that Pike is just a little weird.
It's also just, like, a very montagey, like, we do not understand how Pike is moment of just, like, and she's there, and she's building stuff, and she's, like, one person falls, and she picks them up, and she gives them a hug for some reason. And everyone's like, yeah, Pike, she's the best of us. And it's like an army ad for Pike. An army recruitment commercial.
Oh, that is, yeah, you're not wrong. That is absolutely the vibe.
Yeah, and then they toast Pike the best of us, and it's like, guys, she's not dead. B, she's not like this.
This is also propaganda.
This is propaganda. Oh, God.
But I will say that Scanlan spying on her is, for some reason, weirdly wholesome.
Yeah.
Especially by his standards. Not that that's hard, but,
Yeah, it's hard. I agree that, like, the thing about Pike and Scanlan moments is that they're creepy by nature. Like, the nature of them is creepy. Like, how they're made and how they're introduced. But their moments themselves are often weirdly wholesome.
Yeah, and,
You just roll with them very well.
Like, there is also some implied... This is a weird word. There's a sort of implied consent here.
Yeah, in the same way that, like, as we talked about last time, if somebody was like, if Pike is the type of person to, if she notices a voyeur, she'll do a sexy little dance and be like, yeah, you like this shit?
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to see Pike naked, just ask to see her naked.
Yeah, and if you insist on being in a bush watching her in a creepy voyeuristic way, just to let her know, she'd be like, yeah, that sounds fun. Do that.
Yeah, anyways, but what I mean by implied consent is that, like, when it comes to creepy sexual behavior from Scanlan, that's kind of like the premise. And
yeah.
I feel like they've all sort of... they know to expect this from him, and this is, like, implicitly okay for the table, right?
Yeah, this is within the purview, as like, an out-of-character things that the players have agreed to.
This is my point also why, if Scanlan were to make jokes about Vex's tits, as he will later on too, this would be, like, feel less weird, even though it's objectively kind of not, but it would be less weird for him and for everyone else at the table than it is when Tiberius says the same things, because that's not what it was agreed upon in the social contract they have. If that makes sense. Yeah,
and I also I think that, no, it makes perfect sense, and I also think that, like, the thing that I think is preventing me from saying, like, we are at a full double standard is because, like, well, we do hold Scanlan accountable for it, like...
We do! We don't like him for the things he does, but we recognize that the things he do were sort of okayed by the table. They know what they're getting in. And also he's, like, way more lighthearted and funny about these things, and when Tiberius gets there, he's, like, weirdly intense. And
as much as, like, we can talk all day about how non-effective Scanlan's character growth is, because he doesn't really understand what he did wrong in the first place. But he does have kind of an arc about this, so you can even say that, like, in a sense, kind of feebly and not very well, the plot does make a point of, like, calling out that the jokes that he makes are inappropriate.
I mean, he knows that the jokes he makes are inappropriate, he just does them less the more serious he gets about Pike. Which is also, like, a trope in and of itself, how, like, as soon as you actually care about a woman, you sexualize her less, which is weird.
You want to you want to do it like Percy does. You want to sexualize her more.
In a way she likes, yes.
In a way she likes. So you don't sexualize her at all until you start dating, and then you sexualize her all the time by going down on her.
Sure. We will talk more about the, difference when creepy behavior comes from Scanlan between when it comes from Tiberius when we actually get there.
It's just like, I can see that the trifecta so clearly in my mind, which is like, there's not that much, like, there's a lot to be said about comparing their relationships between Tiberius, like, the ways in which Tiberius does creepiness and the ways that Scanlan does creepiness, but there's also very much effective things to be brought up from, like, comparing Tiberius's behavior to Percy's behavior, too. Because, like, Scanlan is not the epitome of completely unabsolved good behavior, and neither is Percy, but at least when it comes to behaving around women, Percy is often very cool.
Yeah, anyways, as you said, Seeker Assume now comes to visit.
Yes, and he's here to say that the plot has arrived.
Hello, the plot for the next arc is coming to town in 5 to 7 days.
I'm here to say trigger words at Percy to see if he makes funny faces.
I have a spy network that knows that the Briarwoods took over the Whitestone from the Derolos, but somehow I missed that there is a Derolo in the room with us right now.
Yes. There is a Derolo who died of disease and left a family called the Briarwoods. It's just all the kind of things that just like to make Percy go into a flashback.
But by the way, Percy DeRolo, I noticed that you were like upset when you heard their name. So, Percy DeRolo, is there any reason that you are so upset by the name of the family that displaced the DeRolos?
I didn't know Secret Zoom had cutting words.
This isn't cutting words. Is this just, what is the other one?
Vicious Mockery.
Vicious Mockery. This is
Vicious
down
Mockery.
to Vicious Mockery. I mean, I'm currently doing Vicious Mockery of this weird setup. Like, Percy, your name, my dude, my guy. But also, assume, what kind of spy master are you? How is this not pointed out by anyone?
Drag him.
How could you miss that he's a Derolo? Is this just a common name? Are these like the Smiths and Millers of the world?
Yes, the Derolos, the Whitestone Derolos. I also wanted to look up like what this is something I'll have to go back to. Future Ball. If you figured this out, let me know.
You're going to do another drop in the gag here. Yay.
I forgot to look this up, so I'm doing this for the future. She'll have fun with this Future Ball. But
drop in gag.
There's a bit where like he presumes says something about like the bridge from like one continent to another, and I think that continent is Wildmount.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what he says, and he doesn't say Wildmount.
Wildmount is not a continent.
No.
No. He does say that the trade route will be with Wildmount, but Wildmount is not the continent. Because like the other bit, the cooler, darker people bit, that's also on the continent. I need to look up
what the name he uses.
Osceola?
He uses a different name, which is what I want to look up. It's a weird name.
No.
I'd have to like go back and watch it. It's fine. It's for the future. But I don't know if this is a...
It's like kind of...
it's something with a W or the D. It's like
yeah... Or no?
I don't know. We need to go back and listen to it.
It's kind of like how we didn't know the name of the country that Vasselheim is in, just the name of the continent and the city.
Yes.
Because the country just doesn't matter.
So this is kind of why I want to go back, because I want to see if this is
the same way how the continent doesn't matter. We just know Wildmount and the other part.
Yeah, this is a term I want to look up again and see if it actually has been used, or if it's just like a thing that, used once and then never revisited. Hi, Future Ball here. I did look into this. What was written in the transcript is that Matt said Wynandia, which he did not. I went back and I listened to the episode. He says Wynandir, which is actually the name of the continent that Wildmount and the Kryn Empire are on. So this was actually pretty established pretty early, which I just thought was a really cool fact. I'll let you get back to the episode. Thank you. Bye. But yeah, I think that's sort of the end of the episode. Vex wants to talk to Percy, but Percy then runs away to the basement to prepare.
Vex also appreciates that Assume can just meld into the shadows.
Yeah, it's cool. It's gonna come back later.
Yes, and then Vex and Keith are both like, no, I want to talk to Percy. And then Taliesin's still in character voice is like, so about that money that we're owed. and that's
the end of the episode.
Whoa! We made it.
Yay!
And next episode, the thumbnail has a different color.
Oh, because we've reached the turning point.
There. God, we're finally there.
Mm-hmm.
It gets good now.
It gets good now. Not that it hasn't actually been good these last few episodes.
It has been good for the last few episodes. It's fine.
But it's gonna get real good soon.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what shall we read this episode?
Fine.
Sorry, I forgot something.
You forgot something?
Let me go on the ground. Let me, I think I dropped something on the floor. Let me pick it up.
Oh.
Where is this? It's the Purvan Scale!
Did you just do a bit?
I just did a bit.
Oh my god. I thought you actually dropped something. And I was about...
Thank you.
I was about to ask you whether you need this for the podcast right now.
Anyway, what's the first letter of Purvan?
The first letter of Purvan is P for pizzazz, and I don't really know. I
can't think of any. I mean, like,
did anything stand out to you?
Not really. Talisman's hair looks good.
It looks washed out.
Really? I like how it looks. I mean, this is very subjective.
I don't say I don't like how it looks, but it does look like pale and washed out.
Yeah, which fits Percy, huh?
It just happens with fun, colorful hair.
It does. He does kind of look like a troll doll.
He always, ever since he got the mohawk, he always does that, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I think it's because it's dyed a lot, and it's just like, it's a mohawk, so it just kind of looks like, it goes up, and it's a little, it's got kind of the washed hair, like, fuzz bleached out look, so it looks a little artificial.
Yeah, I will say I was, like, during the fight scene, I was, like, fascinated with, like, a thing that Travis had on his forehead, and was like, is this, like, does he have, like, a nick there, like, a little cut or something? Or is this just hair?
Maybe.
But his hair is so short. Why can it be down? But I think it was just the hair.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't know. I can't think of any pizzazz. Is it a non-applicable?
Let's just go for a 0. Like, if there was pizzazz, we can't just take it away for the stupid Twitch chat that we now can't even read anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And the second letter of Purvan is U, for uncomfortableness. There's a little bit here.
Uh-huh. People are kind of creepy about Vex's boobs. Vex does a big ableism thing to get Killers and Tiberius out of prison. There is some non-consensual spying.
I don't know what Kynan even applies for, but it's made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me feel gross inside. So I want to give this one like a 2, like a 1.5? Like a negative 1.5 or 2.
I think we've made our way officially to negative 2. I would even argue for more.
Okay, negative 2.
Negative 2. The R is for role play and realness.
What do you think?
I'm trying to think.
Let's think. Thinky thoughts. Thinky
thoughts.
I think you can say that, like, I don't want to say the combat is.
I mean, Travis was into it for the fight. There was a lot of role-playing going on there, but the role-playing is just being as gnarly as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I do actually like the chant that goes up during the fight. That's like the Eye of the Tiger bit.
Yes! God,
Grog,
yeah.
Grog, it's the...
yeah, they just chant on the beat, and then it's just, That was a really clean musical moment. You know what? Retcon. We're giving them pizzazz points for this.
Okay, give them a pizzazz point.
You're getting a whole pizzazz point for this bit.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
So rate a negative 1.
Here's the thing. I do think that there's some good role. I think if there's nothing else, you can say that the Kynan moment, for all its annoyingness, is good role playing.
Everyone but Vax?
For everyone but Vax. No, I think even Vax is good role playing. Victor! Yes, thank you. Victor. Victor. I think that is how Percy says it, by the way. Victor.
Yeah, the pronunciation of the name of the first time Matt said it wasn't very clear, but it's just Victor. It's just a normal name. He's just a dude.
It's just a normal name. Yes. 5 points? 10 points? How much are we giving for Victor? 15 points? I keep going up. 20 points? Stop me. 3 points for Victor.
I think 3 points are fine.
I think the thing that I like so much about Victor is that he doesn't show up so much that it, like, gets on your nerves. So when he shows up, it's like,
yeah,
this is like one of 4 Victor moments that we get.
True, yeah. Actually 3 Victor moments. The 4th one is off screen.
Yeah, so, like, when it happens, it's like, everybody just lose your shit right now. Drop whatever you're doing. It's a Victor
They literally
moment. Do. So yes, 3 sounds good. I second 3.
Yep. Your turn.
Okay. I was just role-playing realness. Purvan. The next letter in Purvan is V for Vexinus, and I do want to give this episode a couple points for Vexinus. Yes. So I might subtract a point for Vexinus as well.
So there were good moments for Vex. Several of them.
And good moments for Versalia.
Yes, several of them.
So, like, good moments for Vex. Tits, great, wonderful. I love her. I like her like, moment with Percy of just, like, one night of drinking. We don't need to... Yeah, we both love that. You love that more than me, but, like, I don't think there's any... it's like comparing the light of the sun to a light of a supernova. So we both love it very much. I can't think of what other good. I mean, like, I like our start of a conversation with Kynan.
The parenting moments and our conversation with Kynan, yes.
But I do want to subtract like half a point.
Honestly, her bitching at the gatekeeper too.
Yeah, that also is very fun.
Like, you're going to subtract points for the way she broke him out of prison, huh?
No, I was going to subtract a point for Vax taking the moment away from her.
Oh, right, true.
It's like half a point.
And honestly, like, another half a point off because the series also kind of makes the tits bit about him.
Yeah. So let's say if we want to give, like, how much do you think we should give her vaccine? It's like 2, 2.5?
2 feels appropriate.
2, and then subtract a point for, so just 1?
I thought it was 2 after subtraction.
No, 2 after subtraction. Okay, I'm good with that.
Cool. Then is it my turn? Is it your turn? My, you?
It's your turn.
The A is for action.
I mean. This is some fucking, like, grappler Baki shit.
A solid 2.5?
Yeah, solid 2.5. I'm into that.
Bring it home.
So the final letter in Purvan is N for 9 cents.
For 9 cents.
9 cents. I do think there was a little bit of 9 cents in this one.
There's, like, hints of some here. Oh!
I think so too.
Yeah, so like just from we cut back to taking care of this superfluous pet, and oh wow, by the way, I got tattoos. I got the tattoos. Sure you did.
Yes. And like, I don't think this counts as 9 cents, but I want to count it because it's like not Mighty Nine style assholery of getting approaching the docking bay for the airship
the entire
and then
scene.
Taking a teleportation. That's like, yeah.
So, how much do you want to subtract?
Like a 0.5?
Sure.
You want to bump it?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay, so 1.5 minus 1.5 for a total...
1.5? Okay.
No, sorry, I apologize. Sorry, did you say total 1.5?
Do you want to subtract 0.5 or 1.5?
A 0.5. Subtract 0.5.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
sorry. My brain is melting.
Fine, it's fine. Fine. Let's keep it going. I actually took notes for this
We're almost
now.
done.
Plus 1,
Okay.
negative 2, negative 1, plus 3, plus 2. Plus 2, plus 4, plus 2.5 is 6.5 and 6!
Yay! 6.
Final scale
I
of...
really enjoyed this episode.
This episode was good. It was decent.
Yeah, it was decent. It wasn't my favorite, but it had a couple of really nice
We have
moments.
places to go, and we are going to those places now.
Yay! And we're so close to the precipice of being so fun and enjoyable, so, like, can't fault it for that.
Yep, we're almost there. Alright.
Almost there.
And that's it for episode 23.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much to you, kind listener, and to our patrons. Once again, if you want more of this, you want the outtakes, the rest of the Legend of Vox Machina special all at one place. Our Vox...
Yeah, the Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina special is out by this point.
Oh, right, yes. Sorry, but if you want to listen to the Vex special, and possibly even in the future a Perseid adaptational material special...
Oh, yeah.
Join our Patreon.
The one that Bal is going to get added on Twitter for so much.
So much. But you know what? I don't care.
I know.
I'm right.
I know this about you.
I'm right. Thank you. I've never been wrong in my life, and you know this about me. Except for when the time I've said that, apparently... Oh, right, yeah, we disagree on Zutara. Never mind.
But did you just admit you were wrong about that?
I am wrong in a very subjective sense, and I wouldn't say that I'm right, because, like, I don't know where I stand anymore, but, you know, I have my opinion, you have your opinion.
See, we're not even an echo chamber. We can fundamentally disagree on things.
Yes, we're both sitting on a different size of a couch right now. Not looking at each other, like two cats have been in a fight.
I've been in this fight before. Have we been in a fight? Not really.
Yes, we have. No, it's not. We don't care enough for this to be a fight.
I care a lot.
Anyway.
Or I used to. I used to care so much.
Yeah. The flame has since gotten so dead in my heart, so...
What she meant to say was, if you want to hear more of us talking to each other about random stuff, like this episode had seals in Germany and also architecture. Previous episodes had so many other miscellaneous animal facts. Outtakes are available for patrons, starting at $1. Other fun stuff like the notes and whatever, available for more. I just took part in a Critical Role postcard exchange, and if you sure would like to receive a postcard from me, there's also a reward, but you just have to pay a lot of money for that one.
Yep, but you can just do it once and get one postcard. That'd be fun.
Friends of mine actually contemplated doing that, just giving me the money and be like, no, send me a postcard.
I'm not discouraging that. I think that would be incredibly funny.
Yeah, it would. So if you want to be incredibly funny, all it costs you.
Anyway.
Thank you to our patrons. Thank you to Lalafia for the art. Thank you to Current Sun for the music.
Thank you to Current Sun. Thank you to you, dear listener. Thank you to you, Jana.
Thank you to you, Bal, for...
Thank you.
We're doing this the last time this year, which is a little sad, but also, technically the next year can only get better, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, we've had a pretty good year of recording, I think.
God, yes. Imagine where we would be if we didn't lose these 4 episodes back then.
You know, I'm thinking about this nowadays, like, in the hindsight of retrospect.
Both.
I'm looking at this... I guess that's the name of the episode. The hindsight of retrospect. But my thought of this was, you know, like, we have lost a lot of episodes when we started recording in 2021.
But we're probably better now for it.
Yeah, we're better now for it. Also, imagine if we'd have lost episodes in 2022.
God, depending on when in 2022, we would have just quit, I think.
I think so, too. So ultimately, like, I'm kind of glad that it happened when it did.
This was a shitty first half of the year for us.
Yeah. But
God, was the first half of this year bad.
But we got there.
We did. We are still here, and we're now looking forward to when it gets really, really good. And our lives only can go up from here.
And I don't know about you, but like, I think recording these is kind of a highlight for me. I enjoy them a lot.
It is. This is so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun to make these with you, and I look forward to another year of making them.
Me too. So Happy New Year to you when this comes out at the end of February.
Happy February.
Happy February, which is, hey, happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar Year.
It works.
It's late April. All right. What's our opinion for this episode?
If something can talk to you in the case that he can give you a detailed report on whether to scout it out, it should not be a pet.
Should not be a pet. Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Who's doing it for the bit now?